2022 has been a massive year in the world of Microsoft Flight Simulator. We've got all the information you need to know before the end of the year is out and the start of 2023, including all of this week's big announcements and release news, so let's jump into the video. Before we jump into this week's announcements, in these videos we try to bring you all the flight sim news in one place, so if that sounds right up your taxiway, please click that subscribe button. 72% of people that do watch Oz Flight Simulator channel are not subscribed, so this really helps support myself and grows the channel, and I really appreciate your support, so thank you very much. Pre-flighting this week's previews and announcement news, starting off with Carinado as they announced their next project, which is the Piper Archer 2. The Carinado team have been very busy in 2022 with developing aircraft directly for Microsoft themselves with all their local Legend releases. The team had dropped a few screenshots of the Archer, and from the looks of it, it's well on its way in its development. The Carinado team haven't mentioned any details on the featured list for the moment, but from the looks of the screenshots, the teaser from the team, we might see the Archer in the sim before the end of the year. Of course, we will keep you posted with any flight sim release news of the Archer. Flight Sim Studios this week announced their next project for Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is the Tecnam P2006T Mark II. The Tecnam P2 is the lightest twin-engine certified aircraft currently available, and it's used throughout the world as a twin trainer and a private hire for its cheap rental fees. Flight Sim Studios mentioned that the Tecnam is about 75% complete at this stage, and we should expect to see it in our sims sometime in early 2023. In the teaser announcements, the team mentioned that the featured list will be extended, and we should expect to see dynamic animations, including weight controls, visual loading with EFB style tablet, as well as additional functions. The interactive walk around, which we've seen featured in the last release of the Sea Ray, will be implemented in the team's Tecnam, including tie downs, chocks, and pitot covers. The team has access to the real aircraft and will record a real sound set directly from the real thing, and they have access to real pilots, so the feedback from them will help with the flight mechanics. From the look of the screenshots, the Tecnam will use the default Garmin 1000s, and we should expect to hear more from the team in early 2023 about a release. In some more aircraft previews and announcements, Flight Replica have previewed its next aircraft, which is the Curtiss P40. The P40's had a lot of love in the sim of late with the release of the Big Radials version of the P40, and also INI Builds announcements they are developing the F variant, which is expected to be released very soon. And now Flight Replica is announced with their N variant of the Curtiss. The Flight Replica mentions that their project is well advanced and roughly about 98% complete, and soon the Curtiss will be in its final testing stage. The team haven't provided much around what we could expect for features and system wise when it comes to the package. At this stage, we only get a few teaser screenshots provided, but from the sounds of things, we won't have to wait too long before we will see their version of the Curtiss P40 in our sims. This week we received an update from Microsoft themselves about the ATR, which was announced about 2 years ago. The project has been in development with Hans Hartmann, and the team mentioned that it will be out in March next year, 2023. We should expect to see the 42600, the 72600 and the 72600F freight variants of the aircraft to be included in the package, which is in development to the team, and they have full support from ATR themselves, so we expect to see a full stack of systems included. The ATR will come with advanced avionics, including a synthetic vision, AWACS, and weather radar, just to mention a few. An EFB is being worked on by the team, and we should expect to see all the standard offerings, including weight, fuel, ground services, and aircraft states to be controlled by the EFB. We've been told to expect the aircraft to behave just like the real thing does, within a few percent, and as of March looms closer, we should expect to see more updates from the Microsoft team, as it looks to be this is one of the highlight releases from the team in 2023. Speaking of regional aircraft, this week Majestic finally announced that they are developing its iconic Dash 800 franchise for Microsoft Flight Simulator. The team have mentioned straight up that the Q400 will not be developed from the ground up for Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's going to be ported across. This means we shouldn't expect to see the high level of detail when it comes to the external modeling and textures as we're used to seeing it with other airliner releases at the moment. Majestic did mention that the programmers are rewriting the code for the aircraft systems, and we should expect to see the same level of detail when it comes to complexity though, as we have seen the Q400 in other releases in other sims. The team also did announce that they are planning to release the Q300 for the sim once the Q400 has been released, but the Q300 will be built from the ground up. It's pretty strange in my opinion that they're not going to develop both from the ground up, because as a consumer point I'd probably wait for a Q300 instead of a Q400, knowing that it's been developed native from the simulator. Apex Gaming PCs and the Oz Flight Simmer channel have partnered up to create a range of gaming flight simmer PCs tailored to flight simulation pilots in mind. The private pilot and the commercial pilot range has been designed to provide a great frame rates if you are on a budget, or if you're an experienced simmer and want to take your simming to the next level. You can even customize to suit your virtual pilot needs. Links in the description below if you want to check out the new range of Oz Flight Simmer PCs, the private pilot and the commercial pilot. Taxing over to this week's release news, and DC Designs, which is one of the biggest releases of the week, is the Harrier 2 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Recently, the team did let us know on their Facebook page that the release of the Harrier was going to be delayed, and this is due to the backlog of approvals from Microsoft in the InSim marketplace. The team was hoping to release the Harrier 2 both on the InSim market and Just Flight at the same time, but with the delays, they have just gone and released it on the Just Flight for PC users, and we'll see it very soon on the console once Microsoft has resolved all their backlog issues. The Harrier 2 package comes with 3 variants, including the AV8B and also the GR9. The full 3D virtual cockpit is included and accurate modeled, including the injection seats, custom coded MFD screens and head-up displays, scratch canopies, glass effects and reflection glass has all been included, detailed night lighting, custom coded for vertical takeoffs and landings. This is what the Harrier is all about. Also, it's compatible with VR, a fully interactive checklist and 12 liveries, and you can pick up your copy of the DC Designs Harrier 2 from the Just Flight store. I'll leave a link in the description below, and just a reminder, it will be available for console users as soon as Microsoft Flight Simulator approves it for the InSim marketplace. In our next release for the week, this goes to a team that I've never heard before until this week, which is HCG Digital Arts, and they've released the H1 Racer. This iconic aircraft was made famous by holding the world and transcontinental speed records in the 1930s. I think it was at the same time as well. The H1 comes with 4K PBR textures, a detailed model, lots of interactive switches and levers, fuel pumps and transfer switches, hydraulic landing gear, custom camera views, 12 liveries, and you can pick up your copy of the H1 Racer directly from the Sim Market store. I'll leave a link in the description below. Lining up on the runway for this week's Sim Update news, and the last development Q&A for the year was this week, and the team discussed what's happening for the remainder of 2022, including the roadmap for 2023. Not all details were revealed in the Q&A, but we gained a general shape of what's to come in the next 12 months for the simulator. One interesting point of the development roadmap, there was only one Sim Update mentioned for the whole year, which was Sim Update 12, and that's to be expected to be released in March. I really hope this is not a first true sign of a slowdown in the development of the core part of the simulator. Most of the roadmap included content that Microsoft team has contracted out to other developers to create and produce. That being said, there was a mention of 3 surprises throughout the year. Hopefully that turns into big feature updates such as the introduction of seasons or dual cockpit and more. I really hope this is not the first of what we're hearing about a slowdown of development for the core sim, being that it's only 2 years of age. During the Q&A, they did introduce a new type of update, which was called the AAU update. These are basically avionics / default aircraft updates from the working title team, and we should expect to see 3 of these throughout the year. Again, hopefully these are not a replacement for the sim updates that we know of today. The development roadmap for 2023 will include 7 world updates, 7 local legend aircraft releases, 7 famous flyer releases, 1 sim update that we just spoke about, 3 AAU updates, and 3 surprises that they haven't mentioned anything, and the first one's meant to be at the start of the year. The team, however, did go into detail what we expect in the first couple of months of 2023. In January, we'll see the first AAU update. In February, we'll see the first world update, which is going to feature New Zealand. New Zealand will feature the usual DEM and aerial imaging that we are known from all the other world updates, 4 bespoke airports, 30 plus points of interest. Hopefully they do more, and they wanted to do more, but 30 is probably the lowest we've seen in a world update. 6 photographic cities, 3 landing challenges, 3 bush trips, and 3 discovery flights. Most of the work for the world update will be done by Orbx, who's pretty much covered New Zealand at this point of view, so hopefully we're going to see more than just what's their payware product that they have out in the market. This is all going to be a new stuff with this world update. Also, Orbx will be developing the February Local Legends, which is the de Havilland DHC for Caribou, which is expected to be released alongside the World Update as a pay release on February the 7th or 8th. And from the looks of the screenshots they did provide, looks to be pretty good. So hopefully this turns out to be an alright release. In March, we will see the first of the famous flyers for the year, which is going to be the ATR 42-600 and 72-600 that we mentioned at the start of the video. The first surprise is also expected to be in February as well. At this stage, there is no hint of what it may be, and there is 2 other surprises in August and November. Perhaps we'll see other content releases, such as the 40th anniversary edition in next November, as we have seen this year as well. Who knows, they may call the sim another name. It might be the simulator of the year this time. This week, the Microsoft Flight Simulator team released the public beta. The beta is mainly focusing on fixing and improvements for the A310, and I'll leave a link in the description below of how you can join up the public beta if you want to. There is no ETA at the moment of when we're going to see this released in the main sim. No in-sim marketplace releases for this week. Sim Update 11 is causing a major backlog when it comes to approving aircraft for Microsoft Flight Simulator in the marketplace, and at the moment they're not taking any new aircraft to approve. Hopefully this will be fixed very, very soon, and we'll see a flow of new products, as we thought we were going to see after Sim Update 11, to be hitting on the marketplace before the end of 2022. If you got to the end of the video, thank you very much. I really appreciate your support, and if you are new to the Oz Flight Simulator channel, please hit that subscribe button. As I mentioned at the top of the video, 72% of people that do watch the channel are not subscribed. By subscribing, it really helps support me and keeps the channel growing and growing. I'm going to leave you with another video here. If you like this one, I think you're going to like that one, and I'll see you over there.